Welcome to Adib's, or as we knew it back in the day, the historic Villa Theater, 3092 South Highland Drive. Back in the day, you would have seen everything from the South Pacific, which made national headlines here in Utah for being on that marquee for 10 solid months. You would have also seen E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark in the 80s, maybe Smokey and the Bandit, Saturday Night Fever, and Star Wars in the 70s. The Villa Theater actually opened day before Christmas Eve, 1949, with The Prince of Foxes. It's an Orson Welles movie. So in the late 1970s, you had places like the Century Dome, you had Circarama in Ogden. They started splitting up their theaters so that they could show 1, 2, and even 3 or 4 movies in the same amount of space. The Villa had planned to do that, but they didn't want to spend the money, so it remained a single-screen theater. Blessing and a curse, right? So they had that nostalgic feel. You had that giant screen, but they weren't getting as many people, and that means that the building fell into disrepair. So we were able to talk to the current owner of the building. He bought it in 2004 for $2.4 million and put more than double that into the building to retrofit it for earthquakes and to preserve some of the history of the building when he made it a rug gallery. I've never been to one, so I'm kind of excited to see that as well. Let's go have some fun. So in what used to be the lobby of the Villa Theaters, I'm standing where you would have got your popcorn and your icy, and now I'm standing in front of a 400-year-old tapestry. You should come in. People are totally welcome to come in and visit this as a gallery. So literally millions of dollars were put into the building, wrapping up construction in about 1996, 1997, just in time for a motorcycle to come crashing through those front doors. The one thing that the Villa could not prepare themselves for was something called the Megafest. So when you think of old movie theaters, Art Deco usually comes to mind. This was built right at the end of the 40s and into the 50s, which means there was a whole new style of architecture coming out. And everything in this theater was curved. When Adib's Rug Gallery took over the building, they preserved the neon only to cover them up. Completely workable, but they could not run it as neon because something about fire danger, I don't know. So even though Carmike was in bankruptcy protection, they did make one last-ditch effort, and they even put more than $100,000 into the historic marquee out front, but it wasn't enough. It didn't work. On February 18th, 2003, Lord of the Rings: Two Towers, the final film to be publicly shown at the historic Villa Theater. Wow! So in 1949, when the theater opened, one of the big selling points was that it was air-conditioned. That air conditioner is still being used today. It draws water from a well out back and uses a giant fan, which is still running as we speak. We're up here in the attic, literally climbing around the catwalks above the Villa Theater. Below us, about 60 feet down, millions of dollars worth of rugs, and the only thing between us and that is like a very thin layer of plaster and air. So cool. So you see, so those are the original neon tubes that they took out of the poster frames in the front. Okay. So people don't realize how close we came to losing the Villa Theater. It's almost on some level like the building was neglected to the point that it was about to be torn down. Enter Dr. Hamid Adib, the only guy who could have saved the Villa Theater. And I don't say that lightly, because hearing him talk, his passion is absolutely contagious.
Thank you so much, but I don't think I would call myself the only guy, but I am blessed that I was able to.
Also, I got to talk about your family legacy here with the rugs.
So for a number of generations, that's what my family have been doing, and that's been part of their culture and art, producing hand-woven Persian rugs.
And you saw movies here as well, right?
Oh, I used to. And I would bring my children, and we would sit right up there and watch movies.
So the Villa really made its mark in 1961 with a thing called Cinerama. With a 100-foot wide screen, they had to use 3 separate projectors showing in unison at the same time. I love the preservation of history that they've done when preserving the Villa Theater. But we come in and we see rugs that are 400 years old, and we're also seeing a tribute to the Villa Theater, like with the Laurel and Hardy poster. You can see with the handwritten notes for the villa down here, and then a poster for Wizard of Oz. Our big thanks to Dr. Hamid Adib for not just showing us around, but for really showing us around. Like, that dude was crawling around the attic in a suit, man. A sincere thanks for preserving some Utah history. If you liked what you saw today, comment below, like it, subscribe to it, share it with your friends, and let us know what you want to see next time on Cool Stuff in Utah. Let's all go to the mob.